What is going on, everybody? I am back today to talk about a new release movie on VOD that I feel like I've seen the poster for this movie literally all year long, shared around the internet. And honestly, the poster is what intrigued me. I did not know what this movie was about. I had not seen a single trailer for this movie. And as you all know, I'm a big horror guy. I love watching horror movies. It's probably my favorite genre. And so, because of that, I went in and watched this movie knowing absolutely nothing about it, and the film I'm going to be telling you about today is Bagman. Bagman is directed by Colm McCarthy. For centuries and across cultures, parents have warned their children of the legendary Bagman who snatches innocent children and stuffs them into his vile, rotting bag, never to be seen again. Patrick McKee narrowly escaped such an encounter as a boy, which left him with lasting scars throughout his adulthood. Now, Patrick's childhood tormentor has returned, threatening the safety of his wife Karina and his son Jake. So, as I said, I knew nothing about this movie before I went in to watch it. I just went in and watched it because it's a horror movie. And I say this with certainty, no joking. This is either the worst film I've watched this year or tied with the worst film I've watched this year. I hated every second of this. This is the most unoriginal, bland, poorly acted, poorly executed horror movie I've seen all year long. And I genuinely have no idea how this movie got an ounce of funding. It has no tension. The jump scares are some of the most poorly timed, horribly put together jump scares I've ever seen in a movie. The creature design is the cheapest, most awful looking thing I've seen in a film all year long. And I'm going to talk about all of that when I break the movie down. So, this movie has a super thin plot. It's Patrick and Karina and their son Jake living at their house in the middle of nowhere. We try to get some sort of work drama with Patrick's character that no one cares about because it's incredibly underwritten. His relationship with his brother, we get a lot of flashbacks to when they were kids, and the relationship with his father. And he is being tormented at night by these sounds and these images outside, and he feels like something is haunting him. It takes him back to his childhood when his father told him about Bagman, which is literally a raggedy looking creature that carries around a bag and stuffs people comically inside of the bag. And so what happens in this movie? Bagman starts coming after his young son, and the entirety of the film is this husband and wife couple trying to stop their son from being taken by Bagman. So this is one of those rare circumstances where I legitimately have nothing nice to say about this movie. I guess if I wanted to pay it one single compliment, it's competently shot. It's not exceptional, it doesn't look great, but it's competent, and that is it. I hated everything else about this movie. This movie felt like it was 3 hours long, and it's barely an hour and a half. The pacing is horrendous. The way that they reveal information to you is through long bouts of expositional dialogue of people just telling you exactly what is going on and exactly who Bagman is, and you just get it over and over and over again to the point where you're like, okay, we understand who Bagman is. Now show him to us or do something to scare us as an audience instead of just building this mythos of this incredibly uninteresting character. The performances here are not great either. Sam Claflin, who plays the lead, I've seen him in some stuff over the years. He's not a bad actor by any means, and I don't think the actress that plays the wife is a bad actress. They just don't have anything to work with here. It's just so bland. Their relationship feels so just uninteresting. Don't have anything that really makes them likable. The everything that hinges on your interest of watching the movie is just because they're parents with a child. Like there's nothing that brings them any personality or anything that makes them charismatic for you to want to continue to watch this thing. The sequences at nighttime are so darkly shot. It's impossible to make things out sometimes too, which makes the movie a lot less interesting. whenever they showed Bagman and like his face and like his smile or whatever, it just looks awful. It looks like the cheapest, most rushed thing imaginable. And they try to use this sound design that really kind of accentuates the sound of this comically large zipper and like you hearing the zipping noise throughout the movie, but it becomes so predictable and annoying after a while that it doesn't really provide any genuine tension. It was more comical than anything else, which surprised me. I didn't expect to be laughing at the sound design, but there were specific points where I was like, okay, I get it. I've heard that sound 1,000 times. I understand what you're alluding to. And so many of the scenes in this movie that are supposed to be scary just aren't. And some of them come across as unintentionally comedic, but this movie is never so bad it's good. It's just irritatingly bad to the point where when the third act came about, I didn't care about the lead character. I didn't care about any of the danger that the family was in. Characters continuously make the most asinine decisions throughout the film. And horror, people always want to like talk about when characters make stupid decisions, and I think part of horror is people making bad decisions. But when you're doing it over and over again in the most comedic way possible, it becomes challenging to care about what's happening in the movie. And this was one of those experiences that by the very end, when the credits rolled, I wished that I had every second of my time back. And it's also kind of funny because there isn't a lot here to trash either. It's just bad. It's just not a good movie. It's poorly put together. It's not memorable. The script is the most base level, uninteresting crap that you could spew out there. And it's so fascinating because the poster design for this is incredible. And there's a lot of really cool concepts surrounding this movie. And there's like this whole portion where like the child is being lured in by this doll with button eyes that I thought was really cool in theory, but everything about the execution of this movie is what makes it such a miserable slog to get through. And I would not recommend this movie to anyone. I think it is a complete and utter waste of time. And there are like 100 other horror movies that came out this year that are well more worth you sitting through than this pile of garbage. So have you seen Bagman? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was horrible. I hated every second of it and I never want to watch it again. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.